of it. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. And then I will kind of give you. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
I'm not sure I'll be able to see the chat while I'm presenting. So feel free to either open up your microphone and tell me if something is really, really urgent you need, and you don't want me to skip that section and go forward, and then we can deal with that. Okay, so we're going to talk about weight loss. Weight loss, just the case for you to be healthy. It's an avenue that you can use to be healthy. It's not synonymous to healthy. When you lose weight, you can lose weight, but you can still be very unhealthy. So skinny doesn't equal health. But we want to look at what is a weight loss that makes it a case for you to be healthy. And I call it nutrition-based weight loss. And we have two other dietitians here. And I've been passionate about nutrition since I was in third year of high school. You know, that time when everybody has gone through the Kenyan system, and that time when they tell you, now you have to make a selection for what you want to do when you go to campus. So that's when I developed a cue for, because I wanted to be a pharmacist, and then it changed and I wanted to be IT, because that time IT was like the in thing for everybody. But then somebody told me, if you do IT, you will need to go to school almost every year to kind of renew it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So eventually, long story short, I came back to, I landed in nutrition. And those days, the only thing our parents knew about nutrition was you will end up in the kitchen and cook for everybody. And like, my dad was like, no, you're going to go do teaching. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do teaching because I don't want to bring all the work at home. Little did I know that nutrition has a lot of teaching in it. So it was kind of a merger in the whole thing. So today we are going to look at what is that weight loss that is going to keep me healthy, so to make me achieve my goals, and is going to just set a base for me for even a different kind of lifestyle, both nutritionally and personally in other things and other spheres of life. So I'm going to put this in a presentation mode. Okay. Give me a second. I need to figure this out. Okay, there we go. So what are we going to learn during this class? So you'll get to know a little bit about myself. Those who know me from childhood, they're going to refresh their memory and they can interject their opinions, because I know they have a different version of me from what I see and what I know. And those who don't know me from a long time, then they will get to know something about myself. And for those who have lost touch with me for a while, like Naomi, will get to kind of reconnect and see where we are at this point. And then how weight loss can help your health. Most of us at this point, this will be just preaching to the choir. We already know what are the benefits, but we kind of just refresh that because it doesn't hurt to kind of bring that to the forefront of our memories. And then how do you lose the weight then while living a life and not having weight loss as a separate chore or as a duty that you have to check and mark it out? How do you lose that weight? And then how do you keep it off? How can help you, and how I can come into the space and to kind of be that support system on your weight loss journey. So why is this important now? Okay, I'm not seeing the entire screen. Can everybody see the entire screen? Or are things cutting out? I need some feedback.
I think I see it all.
Okay, good. So why is it important now? One, because you're here. And because for you to be here, there's something different that you're looking for. At least the one who is looking to lose weight, there's something different that you're looking for. So your goals matter. And that's why I'm making them my priority, because one, they matter, and you yourself, not even your goals, you matter. And you have an assignment. And I think this is my most favorite one. You have an assignment that needs you to be healthy. Some of us here are moms. We have families. And above it all, the most important for me, and I think what ticks my life and my heart, is you have an assignment from God. Your body is not yours. And as we look down the program and the contents of what I do, it comes from a basis of faith. I don't leave my faith away. I don't put it away because it forms a big basis of what I do. It has informed my weight loss journey personally. It has informed even me becoming a dietitian. So that's at the core of what I do and how I do my things. It is weight loss. It's nutrition-based weight loss through the lens of faith. And you have an assignment. You have a big assignment for you to be healthy. One, not for yourself, but your body is not yours. You need to take care of it. And this is one part where you can take care of that health and the assignment that you have. I want you to picture yourself what you do. And I need some comments in the chat or somebody to be bold enough to open their microphone and tell me, how long does it take you in your closet when you're going to church in the morning? And how many clothes do you have to change before you can step out of your door? Specifically, Dorothy and Naomi, let's entertain me for a minute. Because for me, it used to be, I take out like 4 the previous night, and in the morning, they don't look good. I don't like them. And I keep going back and forth. And if it wasn't that I knew church was important, sometimes I wouldn't want to go to church because I am self-conscious. That's one thing that hinders our ministry. It hinders how we relate and how we go on. So keep sending those in the chat. So the question is, if not now, then when? A year down the line from today, you will be glad that you began. But if you don't begin, then you will wish that you had begun sooner. So the point is, why wait? What is that thing that is holding you? The time is now. So this is for you if you have cycles of dieting, starving yourself, you've known exercise is the only way for you to lose weight. You've been spending lots of cash on new wardrobe every 2 months or every 2-3 months. And right now, the economy is not allowing for us to go to the mall every week or every other week to get a new dress or something like that. Or if you've been avoiding gatherings, you would want to go because you cannot seem to settle on an outfit, comfortable. You're like, I don't like it. No, I don't like that one. No, it looks too big. No, I can't fit in it. The zipper will not go in. All sorts of things that are happening with your wardrobe. You're feeling defeated all the time because, and we will see that later. Weight loss takes out your energy. It lowers your, not weight loss, like if you're too high above your ideal weight, it slows down your metabolism. If your metabolism is low, then your energy levels are low. You feel sluggish. And there's that connection between your weight, your digestion, and even your mental health. So you're more likely to have depression. You're more likely to have feelings of lawlessness and loneliness and low self-esteem if you are overweight. So having no energy to play with your family, your kids, you can't even host children. You can't even go to the park and play with your children because you're like, I'm tired. I am drained. I can't do this. You cannot attend to your daily chores because you're always tired, and you have no desire to look forward to occasions and desired events because, one, you don't have the moods, you don't have the psyche, you don't have the energy, and you don't look forward to dress up. So this is for you if that is what you're experiencing. So in this section, we're going to get some rules. One of the biggest rules that I will have, you will realize my rules are not related to the presentation or you being in class today. They are more related to you. So you need to consider yourself and don't let the opportunity to begin to pass you. That's rule number 1. So you are the best strategy and the best rule. You're the best strategy for your weight loss. You're the best strategy for changing your life and achieving your goals. Because once you start losing weight, the discipline that is required for you to lose weight is a discipline that can be transferred to all the areas of your life, your spiritual life, because your spiritual life is connected to how you eat and how you take care of yourself. And most of the time, whether we believe it or not, we find that the problem is just not the food that we eat, basically. Of course, it might have something to do with it, but most of the time, the problem is not the food we eat. The problem is our spiritual environment, our mental setting, the person that is you. So that's where you need to compete with yourself. Don't compete with the fridge. Don't compete with the market. Compete with you. What is the best you? And you have that mandate to consider yourself. Okay, so how did I get here? So now this is where it comes in. So I started studying nutrition way back. It's over how many years? I can't count anymore. So the reason why I have the passion and I can bring something to your table is because, one, I have lived this weight loss thing. I'm 4'11", so that means I am very, very, very short. And two, I gained the weight after my children, and it started after my first baby. I started gaining weight that could not go. But the last baby that I had, which is around 5 years ago, my weight was extremely high. In the middle child, I was almost 80 pounds, 80 kgs. So that's around maybe 160 something pounds. I was heavy. Then I got diagnosed with fibroids. I had gestational diabetes. And then after all my pregnancies, my blood pressure went over the roof. My hormonal imbalance was extremely high. I even started having hair on my face. And that's not acceptable for a girl. No, you can't deal with that. Once you start having your hair growing on your face, you're on the path to something that is not good. So like you can see in 2020, I was bulging out. And then this is 2012 now. This was pre-pregnancy. I was tiny little bit thin. And then you come here and it's a big change. And this is me today. So one thing, I have the story that you want to live. I have lived the story, I've seen results, and I will be able to teach you or walk with you through the things that I've seen work. I was the same way confused, and I was like, all my nutrition, I actually need to go back to my KU professors and they need to give me back some of my money for my tuition, because I don't think they did really well to kind of bundle up what really practical nutrition is all about. So you get to know these things as life happens and you're like, okay, I need some answers. And the education that I have this far is so segmented, it doesn't give me the results or the answers that I'm seeking. So I have a story to help you. I do have a story, but that's not the only thing that I bring on the table. I do have the training. Currently, I'm a registered dietitian in the US. I'm working at a local hospital here, but my passion is really in coaching. My passion is helping women and even families to achieve healthy and nutritious lifestyles. And that's where my passion lies, because at the end of the day, I'm looking at what does God want us to do? How can we leverage our love for God and our knowledge of God and have that translate into healthy families, into healthy people, into healthy communities, and into just the healthy you. So my training as a registered dietitian, I'm also a trained maternal and child health specialist. So I am passionate all things babies, mothers, and women and families. So in that order. So I have the training to bring on the table, and putting all that information through my story, through my experience, and putting all the segmented information from my training to bring it on the table is a valuable resource that we're going to be using in my helping you to achieve your goals. My faith, I think this is my central part as to why this can work and why I'm here and how I am here. So Philippians 2:13, we all know it. God will give us the will. And you're like, what does the Bible, what does my faith has to do with weight loss? It has pretty much to do with it, because the biggest part of your weight loss, it has to be centered around you. You have to see yourself differently. You have to deal with the environment that has held you back. You have to peel the layers. You have a lot of weight that we accumulate. It may come through childbirth. It may come through issues like hormonal imbalances, maybe because of life, because of a certain condition. But when you peel the layer of what is happening on the surface, it has a lot to do with my mental disposition. It has to do a lot with my heart. It has to deal a lot with what goes on in my mind. My mind is a driver of everything that happens. And in one place or another inside my mind, inside my heart, inside my life, there is a skewed belief that is causing everything that is happening on the surface. So we have to go back to the roots of how do we deal with the environment? I don't have any other answer. I cannot give you anything else. A lot of people today in the world is like, I can do it all by myself. I don't need anybody. I can do it all. I'm okay. I'm enough. I don't know. I have tried that. For me, it doesn't work. And I will be very apologetic to tell you that I can offer that solution to you, but I can offer the solution of somebody who I know has helped me in my depths, in my mountaintops, in my valleys, in my plain lands, and somebody who stabilizes my life. Somebody who I have seen God, like we will keep, like I told you, once you get into this space, I'm not letting you go for a very long time. And we will kind of get to interact and more and see my story. I have gone deep. I have come up. I've been on the mountaintop. I have been, like Paul said, I have learned to be a base and have learned to be great. And in all things, there's one central theme. The central theme is the God in whom all things rest. And I know there's a lot of there's a lot of wounding about church, about things of God, and it's like, I don't want this story anymore. These things don't work. There's a lot of wounding. There's a lot of issues that are going on with the people who claim to be God's people. But that doesn't stop the truth. Just like a doctor will treat a cancer patient, but they themselves can still get cancer. We do not reject the power of medicine just because the doctor is smoking and getting cancer. Just because they are the bearer of the medicine doesn't mean that we reject the whole process of medication and medicine and treatment. No, you will take advice from a doctor, even the one who is not doing the right thing. It's not the right way to go about it in terms of our faith, but believe it or not, it goes back to the you. Consider yourself. At the end of the day, it is you. You cannot judge yourself by other people, because faith is a central part to making you and being the person that you want to be tomorrow. And that involves even your weight loss and your health journey. Because at the end of the day, the world is filled with sin. It's a broken world. And if you do not have an anchor for the things that come into life, if you don't have a shield of what is going to protect you, and we will be able to see how stress is connected to weight, how just life happens and it's connected to stress. If you're stressed, the chances are very high that you're not going to lose your weight unless you starve yourself to death. So faith is very important. Look at these verses. Philippians 2:13, God wills. And I don't believe it's a coincidence for you to start wanting to do this, because you're going to be more productive, you're going to be more useful, you're going to be more available for ministry. So it has everything to do with God at the end of the day. And we can do it all through Christ. I cannot do it by my own strength. I cannot do it just by waking up in the morning, because it needs a lot of mental strength. It needs a lot of mental power, and we cannot do it by ourselves. And it's a daily thing. To live healthy, to live anything good, it needs a lot of mental strength. Somebody said, for you to be broke is really difficult. For you to have financial freedom is also really difficult. You just need to choose which difficult can you deal with. Are you comfortable dealing with being broke, or are you comfortable dealing with being financially free? Like we all know, having a very high weight is really difficult. And losing the weight, I'm not going to tell you there's a quick scheme. No, it's a lot of work to be done, but you just need to choose. Am I comfortable living in my heavy weight and just not putting in the work to get to the other side? Or I will put in the hard work to get to the other side, where it will eventually get comfortable and the less work will be. So you have to choose. Life, there's nothing that comes, there's no state of life that is without struggle. The problem is, or the question is, what is a struggle that I can deal with? I would rather struggle to be financially free than to struggle being broke, because that's like, I've already sealed my case to the end of time. So Do you want to work and put the work to to liberation, to freedom, or you want to stay where you are because you don't want to put in the work towards the freedom? So faith has been a big part of what makes me be able to stand with confidence and tell you this thing is possible. You can do it because we have all the tools and all the resources that we need to be able to take us there. Because a lot of times we separate our life, we kind of separate what looks spiritual to what doesn't look spiritual. But that's not the way we should live our lives. Everything is connected together. The centrality of everything goes back to the cross. It goes back to our faith. It goes back to how do we want to live? And that is what dictates our outcomes and what we achieve. So how are we doing so far? Are we good? Okay, I think silence tells me we are doing good.
Good.
Great. Okay, so what is nutrition-based weight loss? Nutrition-based weight loss, and even if you never work with me going forward, I need you to watch this very carefully. So nutrition-based lifestyle or weight loss is just focusing on nutrition, focusing on what you eat, focusing on every bite that you take. Somebody said it's going either to lead you into a healthy direction or to an unhealthy direction. But then, like Naomi was asking, so why is it then so important? I know what to do. I do the right thing. So why is it that and I'm not losing the weight? A big puzzle, because most of the time we focus on the right thing in terms of our food, in terms of we know what to do, what to eat, when to eat, how to eat it. But sometimes we forget that before we can get to just the weight, the nutrition and what we eat, we have to make sure that the environment where the food is going is okay. In one of my coaching sessions, I gave my students an assignment, and I told them, go cook. Like if you love chapati, go cook chapati. If you love gardening, go to your garden, go deal with your skooma, go deal with whatever you do during your free time or your downtime on Saturday or whatever day. If you clean, go clean, and you're sweaty, make sure you've done some good amount of work. And you're sweaty, you're dirty, you're not the best way. If you knew you had a guest coming in, you will rush to your bedroom and change. And in that moment where you're exhausted, you're tired, you have your gardening clothes or you have your kitchen clothes, think of yourself going for a dinner and don't get a shower. Do not take off your clothes. Don't take off your sandals that you were using in the garden or your boots or anything, but then go to your closet and get your best dinner dress. Get your best Sunday best. Get the best of the best. And with all those gardening clothes or whatever clothes you're wearing, try to put on your dinner dress or your business dress and put on your shoes on top of the shoes that you were wearing when you were working, and put it on. And I need you to have that mental picture. And I'm going to stop sharing because I need to see your faces, because this is very important. Unless we get this part, we're not going to move forward. So I need to stop sharing for a minute, and I want to see your faces, and I want some interaction on this. You're coming from the farm, or you're coming from cleaning up, and you go take your best dress and put it on. Tell me how that experience is likely to go. How is that experience likely to go? You just came from cooking chapati, you have wheat flour all over your body, and you go get your golden beige dress and you're putting it on, or your velvet blue, you're putting it on in your heels, and you're putting it on top of your dirty clothes, top of your working clothes. Picture that and tell me, how is that likely to go? No, it's not gonna go good, right?
You feel dirty.
You feel dirty?
Dirty, and I mean, of course you can't. It's weird though.
It's weird. The clothes will not even go in.
Yeah.
The clothes won't go in, number one. Number two, you're going to soil your clothes. You're going to mess up your dress. Because one, what I know about dinner dresses and clothes, they're well-fitting. They're not baggy and loose. So one, you're going to mess up the zippers. You're going to tear it off. You will have to take it back to the fundi. And then, so what is going to happen at the end of the day? You mess up the dress, it's not going to fit, and you don't even feel your best. But now imagine the reverse of that. You finish working, you take a nice breath, you take a cold glass of water, you sit down, you relax. You go to your shower, you put on your shower, you take your shower, you clean yourself up, you put some good deodorant on, you make your hair, you make your face, you go get your dress, you put it on, you take your heels, you put them on, and you walk out. Feels good, feels fresh, it's possible, you're not tearing your dress out. Now picture yourself in your weight loss journey. You're trying to fit in your dinner dress on top of your gardening clothes. It's not going to work. We have to go back to understanding, why am I here? What brought me here? Unless we identify the things that brought me to the weight, I can't deal with it. And then before we can do anything about it, we have to start putting them off. We have to put off everything that is not aligning to our purpose at this time. They served me when I was gardening. They served me when I was cooking chapati. They served me when I was cleaning my house, but they don't serve me when I'm going out for a date. They don't serve me when I'm going out with my family. They don't serve me when I'm going for my business dinner. I need to take them out, and I need to put on what serves me for this occasion. So my me version 4 or upgrade doesn't need my clothes for version 1. It needs a different perspective. For me to be that person, I need an upgrade. And I cannot upgrade when I'm still using the old system. Okay, go back to the computers we used like in high school. In high school, who did computer science in high school? And then you had your teachers bringing all these, the people who went a little bit later in school, they may not feel the pain we felt. When you have this big old computer and it cannot even move, that software cannot work with my current phone. They needed to upgrade that software. So we need to be able to take out the old software and put in a new software that works with the me that I want. And that's why sometimes we do the right things, or we do the things that we know to be right, but they may not be right for that situation. They're not serving for that occasion because we are mixing them with an old version or an old system, an old software. All right, I'll go back to sharing my screen. So nutrition-based weight loss, again, is we have to clean up the environment first. We have to look and peel out the layers of the things that are hindering for us to put in everything that we need to put in. And it will end the cycles of dieting, starvation, endless exercises that do not give results. It will put an end to spending unnecessarily on new wardrobes. It will help you enjoy dressing up, engaging in private gatherings and meetings, and going out and being involved in your community, being involved in the things that God wants you to be involved in. It helps you stop feeling defeated all the time. It's a tool. It's not the ultimate tool for your self-worth and your self-identity, but it's a material, it's a tool that you can leverage for that. And we'll be able to see how you're able to do that and not waste your weight loss journey. It increases your daily levels of energy. It gives you the energy and the motivation to be able to look forward. It was for several years, I was not able to play soccer well because I love to play soccer, but I was so heavy. I could not even walk stairs. I could breathe hard. I could not even tie my shoes properly without having to twist myself in a certain way. Like I said, I'm really short, and being 80 kgs with my height, because my ideal weight is around 55 kgs. And then look at another 30 on top of that. It's just not a good, you don't have the mobility, you don't have all these things. So a healthy weight loss will make sure that you have all these things. And even more, it's going to increase your mobility. You're able to move around more in a flexible way. You're going to be able to enjoy the things that you do. It will reduce bad cholesterol. It reduces the risk of heart disease. It reduces the risk of just lifestyle diseases in general, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, what we call nerve damage, what we call the peripheral nerve damage, and then it reduces the risk of stroke. So losing weight in a healthy way comes in with a lot of perks. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. and it helps regulate your hormones. If you're struggling with hormones, it doesn't matter what age you are. It might be a little bit more difficult to kind of regulate them at an older age, but I promise you, it doesn't have anything to do with energy. It has everything to do with our environment, how we eat, and how we look at ourselves and how we look at things. And you will be surprised how this brain thing is so powerful. It will help regulate your sexual health. It will help regulate your libido. It will help regulate how you function sexually. It will help regulate your blood pressure. It will help regulate your blood sugars. By the time I was having my last baby, I was pre-diabetic. On top of having gestational diabetes, I was pre-diabetic. And you know, doctors here in the US, they tell you once you get a diagnosis, you cannot forget about that diagnosis, and especially if it's related to a lifestyle disease. And my A1C, what is a measure of the blood sugars, in short, it was way getting into the red zone. I took my blood work just a few months, I think it's in January, and my blood sugars, A1C, was 5.8. That is way within the green zone, like where it's expected to be. It's possible. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's possible, it's possible, it's possible. So how do we do it? We have to, and this circles back to where I was telling you about, it circles back to where I was telling you about taking off, breaking down, dealing with the things that brought me here. We have to start thinking, what is the person that I want to become? I have to be that person in the reality of my head before I can practically in the physical be that person. You can never be the person you've not thought about. And that's, I don't know how to call it, but that's how the brain works. That's how God created our brains. It's a very powerful organ. It's what you feed in your mind determines how the food you eat, the environment you live. If you believe to be right, then you're right. If you believe to be wrong, you're wrong. At the end of the day, it has to begin in your mind. You have to see it in your mind. You have to be that person in your mind. If you see yourself never losing the weight, that's all you're going to talk about. That's all you're going to work around. Have you ever thought somebody didn't like you, and then all of a sudden you start seeing evidence of how this person doesn't like you? Because your mind will get the evidence of what it sees. So if you see, I like you, you're going to be looking at the evidence of what you think I like, or that I like you. If you think I'm not a good person, you will get all the evidence towards to support that mental picture of yours. So we have to deal with everything that is preventing us from being the person we want to be. We have to lose those poles of belief that are hindering us to become version 4.0, the new system. We have to deal with them before we can even start thinking, what is my food doing? Where is my life going? Why am I not losing this belly fat? Why am I not losing this baby fat? We have to deal with a lot of things. We have to clean up the environment, and go back to the analogy I gave you. We have to take off the gardening clothes. We have to take off our cleaning clothes and put on the clean clothes and our Sunday best. So be you first, and then make the environment valid for you. You have to be you first, and then you have to, everything will start aligning to what you're thinking, what you're becoming, how it will start influencing how you feel. It will start influencing. Live the truth that you know. Start putting in the truth that you know before it can start showing practically. And this is the most important. Tear down your poor nutrition lifestyle. Tear it down. You cannot not tear it down and expect things to be different. In short, you can't live the same way you've been living. You can't do the same things you've been doing. You cannot think the same way you've been thinking, and it has not worked for you, and then expect to get different results. We have to be different. There has to be a switch. There has to be a turnaround. There has to be tearing down and breaking down all that which is not working and not serving for that season to get something different. So, yes. So now, how do you start achieving the results? After you tear down, after you break down that which is unhealthy, both mentally and even in terms of your food, then you have to upgrade your nutrition. We have a lot of issues with the way the way food is being processed. We are living at a very fast environment. And today, I don't even think we are at a microwave age now. I don't even know, because I think when I was in high school, college, we used to be microwave generation. I don't know what's the name I'm going to give it to this current phase of life, but everything is so fast. And that can work to our disadvantage in that we want everything to work very fast. And two, we are just not taking time with ourselves. We are passing ourselves by. We are living on the service. We are not taking time to rest. We are not taking time to build ourselves. So after we've torn everything down, then now we need to upgrade our nutrition. We need also to upgrade our mental posture. We need to start living the truth of who we are. And that takes you back to your faith. That takes you back to what you believe to know, or what you believe to be true about you. What does God say about you? What does God say that you need to be, and who are you? And how does that affect how you think? How does that affect how you think about money? How does that affect how you think about relationships? How does that affect how you think about your job? How does that affect how you think about your health? Because you're not going to deal with your weight and your health as a separate identity or as a separate entity from your finances, from your relationships, from your work, from everything. It's just connected. There's no way around it. You cannot take away your food, because you go to business meeting, there's food. You go to conferences, there's food. You go to church, there's snacks. You go everywhere. You're mentoring somebody, or let's have coffee this day, there's food. When we look at the pages of life, cultures, we are filled with food. Food is a central part. Food is central to survival. Food is central to cultures and socialization. Food is central to a lot of things, and therefore we cannot separate. You go to weddings, there's food. You go to burials, there's food. You go to birthdays, there's food. You go to business meetings, there's food. During breakups, when people are breaking up from relationships, there's food, because they will take you fast for ice cream, and then later they will be like, you know what, this thing is over. There's food. Everywhere there's food. We cannot run away from it. We cannot separate it from what we do. And for us to look at the sustainability and even maintaining what we create, we have to look it into the lens of every other aspect of our lives. But this is also very important. And I think this is, for you to be able to lose the weight, you need to create a caloric deficit. What is a caloric deficit? For those who are wondering and are like, what jargon is this? Basically, it's just giving the body less of energy than it deserves to run its daily whatever, like daily systems, run your heart, run your kidneys, run your activities if you're maybe working full-time or you're doing chores at home. So the body factors in all that in the energy that it requires every single day. So that is your basal metabolic energy that is minimum to run your heart, to run your kidneys, to run your brain. You need a certain level of energy. But then now on top of that, to run your daily activities, you will need a certain level of energy. So when you combine those two, you have to give your body less of calories than it needs to run all those activities. And why is that important? It's important because if you're giving the energy exactly what it needs, it's never going to tap into your stores. It's never going to break down what is already stored. So it will keep using the new energy because the body doesn't want to go where it's not really necessary for it to go. So if you're constantly feeding your body with enough energy, then it will not go back to the muscles, to the liver, to the fat cells and break that down. But now even worse is if you're giving it more than it needs, then it keeps breaking that down and storing it as fat. When you eat your carbohydrates, you may say, but I just ate some carbohydrates. How are they becoming fat? Every food that gets eaten, if it is not used in the body to provide immediate function of what it is, if it is carbohydrates, they need to provide you energy. If it is your protein, they need to build that muscles, they need to build your cells, they need to build your body. And your fats will need to, they participate in making your hormones, your enzymes, and just running the body and protecting your organs. Anything that is in excess of what is required, it gets transformed into fat. And guess where it goes? Depending on your genetic makeup of your body, It will either be stored in your boobs, your belly, your hips. Those are the most common places where your fat is going to be stored. And for the people who have a harder time losing weight, most of their fat deposits are around their belly. And one of the dangerous things with that is when fat is spilling over to your belly and your midsection, it tells you the liver is already saturated with fat. And what happens with the liver? Liver is a very important organ because it detoxes your body. It helps in your metabolism. It does a lot of amazing things. And I know we all have basic biology in high school, so we kind of know how important is your liver. But once the liver starts to get, when the fat deposits are all around the liver and they're not getting broken down and they stay for a while and then it starts spilling over to the abdominal cavity, then it begins to get scars. It's like when you have a wound and you have a scar. That's what happens with the liver. So what happens, and you cannot replace a scarred liver tissue. So when it starts to get scarred, that's what you hear people calling non-fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, because they've been eating so poorly, the liver cannot even handle the fat content anymore. So it's already scarred, it becomes fibrotic, and it becomes like a wound, and then it cannot function. So it keeps reducing the functionality of your liver, and that's not good. And then the other aspect that we need to do to kind of start building this dynamics of my weight, my health, my future me, is creating a weave between your life and your food. Like I was talking earlier on, you cannot separate your eating with your relationships. You can't separate your eating from your lifestyle, from your friendships, from your work, from your finances, because you get stressed from your job. And the first thing is you pass through the bakery and you get your favorite desserts. You get, somebody is stressing you, you think of, let me go get some chocolate. Food is everywhere. And it's how we look at it, it's how we weave it into our daily life and how we think about it that is going to determine how we build the blocks into a healthy weight. And then how do we keep the weight off after we've lost it? Because you can lose it and gain it all back again. So you have to build in a system within the process that helps you to kind of sustain that weight for a long time. And the way to do it is repeating this. We have to repeat this over and over and over again. You have, yeah, Irene, I see that. We have our kicks right here. So we have to repeat. We have this. This is what we need to. This is where everything. We have to keep creating. Now, once you reach your ideal weight, you don't need to create the caloric deficit. You need to be able to create that maintenance. You have to keep monitoring yourself. You have to just weave it in and be able to know what goes on and how to keep yourself. You have, and once, if you're working with me, we'll be able to create tools and be able to know this is how I can long-term sustain and monitor, and this is what needs to be. But this is where you need to do a repeat. You need to set a repeat button every day on this part here, on this section. And then you repeat that and you do it again and you do it again and again, and you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it. It's possible you start creating that second you. Let me get some water. So you forge it. You forge by what you've already, you have to form it. You have to keep that structure going. You have to keep building on that. And that's how you don't separate your eating life from your other lives. Don't have several blocks of life. Here is my eating, here is my life. No, it's one thing. It's the same block of life. And then maintain that upgrade of your nutrition. You have to keep. Does it mean that you can never eat cake? No, it doesn't mean so. But then we look at strategies. We look at things like, how can I weave this in and how can I avoid? Because when you stress, when you completely withdraw something from your body, we are also looking at that mental. Like, for example, let me use an example. When we were in high school, a lot of people had the temptation to just what we used to call jump the fence, especially if you were in a boarding school, because people are not used to, they just want to break a rule. And it's the same way the body behaves, even at this age, at a grown-up age. You become strict and you starve yourself, or you say, I'm never going to touch this. And the body starts to get stressed. It starts to say, I can't live this. I can't live like this. It starts to rebel. I go by the rule that I call, let your moderation be known unto all men. There are people who will tell you have to be vegan, you have to be vegetarian. Personally, even as a dietitian, I know plant-based meals have a very high advantage of health. But for me, it's not sustainable for a lot of people. It needs a lot of discipline. And two, if God have allowed people to eat animal products, then who am I? I don't want to put a burden on people that even God himself allowed it to be off. And a lot of people will say we have all to be vegan, we have to be vegetarian, it's the healthy diet. And there's a truth to that, but it's not the entire truth, because unless it can be sustainable for somebody, then it's not going to help them. So we have to look at that upgrade and keep going and keep going. But then we also have to look at, how do I weave in the lifestyle? Because a lot of lifestyle and a lot of life that we have around us doesn't have anything healthy. We have to really go out of our life or out of our norm to be able to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. So keep being the you, keep being the future you, keep living that God's identity that is in you, that he has given you. Because if you're living in God's freedom, then you're not going to be bound in the shackles of despair, in the shackles of the things that mess up all our hormones and all our electrolytes and things that come in and just breaking down the things that we're trying to build. But this is also another very important, two very important factors. The last two, develop a community of people, because agree or not, a lot of us are living in families, and especially now in the era of, I just want to live my life and I don't care what else somebody else tells me. I don't want to live somebody's life. We live in a place where when you start to do something good, nobody wants to support you. And if they want to support you, they do it clawing on your face, like, why do you have to make us do this? Why do you have to make us support you in this? Your friends changing you also determines a lot of relationships again. So you also have to have that expectation of, if I start changing who I am, or I start becoming the me I know I need to become, it might affect other relationships. Some people will be like, I can't support you in this agenda. I cannot, you're not fun anymore to be with, because you're not drinking alcohol. You're not just eating anyhow. You're being mindful of what you're eating. And I'm not saying you go telling people, I cannot do this. And those are things that we look into when we are working together, and we kind of look at what are the aspects of your life that matter, that you care about, and we personalize that. So you have to have a community of people. You can't do this alone. As a dietitian, I struggled with the same thing. I'm like, I'm going to do this thing by myself, and I'm going to try to get everything and put all my education in practice. But there's just more to it than just the education. There's more to it. Community is a big part. I had to hire a coach personally. And even the coach I had is not even a trained dietitian, but it's a lady, and I think most of you, might have heard about her. She has trained herself about nutrition. She has done everything she knows about nutrition. She has lived the story herself. So you cannot walk alone. You have to walk with people. You have to be vulnerable. You have to allow yourself to get out of a closed zone to a zone where you can be able to. There's a Swahili, you remember this Swahili saying that says, "Mficha uchi azai." For those who may not know, it means if you hide your nakedness, you're not going to give birth. If you're hiding your nakedness and that baby is coming, you're going to kill the baby. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to kill yourself. And everybody who has given birth here knows that. So you have to, sometimes if need be, you have to see a therapist. You have to look for people. You have to get the resources that you need. And you have to position yourself with the things that you need. And a lot of us are just so filled with pride that we don't want to get vulnerable. But then we are hurting, we are not healing, we are not getting the things that we need to get. And that's, unfortunately, that's just life. You have to break. Unless a grain of wheat dies, that's what Jesus said. Unless we die, and sometimes we have to die to our pride, we have to die to the things that we hold dear, the things that are clouding us from breaking through to what we want to achieve. So you have to ask yourself, what is more important? Keep holding on to these things I hide and I don't want people to think of me in a certain way, or I'm going to let it go. I'm going to open myself and I'm going to get healing and I'm going to move on with life and achieve my goals. But the most important for me is don't leave God out of your journey. Psalm 91, I love that. That verse has been a game changer for me. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. We pray for food, but we don't pray for our weight. We pray for money, but nobody prays for their weight. We pray for a lot of things. We wait until we get diabetes for us to pray for our health. We wait until we start seeing fibroids, or we start gaining hair on our faces, and we start doing all these things before we can start really praying for our weight in life. Oh, that's a trivial thing. I don't think there's anything trivial. He says, come unto me, all you that labor, and I will give you rest. You pray for it. You tell God, give me strategies. Sometimes you look at your schedule and you're like, everything is so busy, and you're like, I don't even know how I can maneuver things around. And then we just resort to eating anything anyhow. And maybe especially those who are working in the church or working in communities like humanitarian, you're so intermingled with people. It is not easy to come up with a separate plan of how you're going to eat. I'm telling you, this thing is practical. Talk to God. Like, you will be amazed how he can help. You will be amazed how he can turn things. It's not just science. If it was just science alone in this world, a lot of rich people, a lot of people who have money, who have education, they will never die, they will never get sick. But no, it's just more than science. It's a lot more than science. When you look at Matthew, when Jesus is coming from the mountain and he's being tempted, and the devil comes in and tells him, change these stones to be bread. And Jesus was hungry. The Bible says Jesus was hungry. So, and he had the power to do that. But he knew it was just more than whatever is happening right now. The devil wanted to bring him to his side, but he knew to say, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of God's mouth. We underestimate the treasures we have in our faith. We underestimate what Jesus said. The Bible says that, not Jesus, the Bible says in, I think it is in Isaiah, that the eyes of the Lord go back and forth, looking for his people who are humbled so that he can work on their behalf. I'm not quoting it verbatim, so I might be butchering that verse. But God is waiting to work on our behalf. He said, all your needs. It doesn't separate, say, okay, you can pray about financial, you can pray about your children, you can pray about your job, you can pray about a relationship that you have, but you cannot pray for your weight. You can't pray for how you eat. It has to come to that basic level where everything that I do it in the name of the Lord, even if it is drinking or eating. And I'm glad how when you look at the pages of the scripture, there's a lot of scripture that paints food, the analogies between food and how we relate to God and how God relates to us and what food teaches us about dependency. When we even look at the model prayer where Jesus said, give us this day our daily bread. It's a lot of dependency. Imagine if you were to be paid on a daily basis and that's how you survive. And that's how God is calling us to go to him, depending on him for our daily sustenance, depending on him for our daily keeping. And that involves how you eat, how you drink, how you walk, how you wake up, how you talk to somebody, how you relate to somebody, how you relate to your spouse, how you relate to your children, everything. It's everything bracketed together. So this is very important in your weight loss. Don't waste your weight loss. Make it the thing that brings you closer to God. In life, one of the best ways to sustain even health going forward, in the modern fitness and health industry, has taken fasting, and you hear intermittent fasting, you hear whatever fasting, you hear this fasting. And it's a truth that is well known from scripture. A lot of patriarchs, a lot of Bible heroes, they lived this life of feasting and fasting. They had times where they had intense fasting, times of seeking God. There's time God will command them to go celebrate and share food and send gifts one to another. There are those times that are painted in the pages of scripture. And the body is not also meant to eat constantly. The more you eat during the day, the more you snack in between your meals, the more you keep your insulin and your other hormones imbalanced, the more you keep that rush of insulin in your blood system. And the more insulin you have in your blood system, the more you're likely not to lose your weight. So don't waste your weight loss journey. Let it be one of the things that takes you to the throne. and it will bring you to that secret place of God, because it takes in a lot of mental power and a lot of strength. And I think, and I believe, and I know from experience, from living it, that God can help us. So make it personal. All the nutrition principles that we have are very universal, but their applications are not. They're very personal. You have to personalize your own nutrition journey. Your body is distinct. You are a special person. And that's why, even though you have principles that direct you, your body will tell you. You have to be able to listen to your body. In the journey of building those blocks and repeating the building blocks over and over again, creating that caloric deficit or maintaining the calorie equivalent, building yourself, building your mental picture, living your spiritual life. In that process, make it personal. Personalize it. Don't copycat somebody else or how they're living. Listen to your own body. Balance between what you know to be true and how your body tells you to go. Your body will give you signs. Your body will tell you if it doesn't like a certain food, or if it does. And we might reject that advice from our bodies, and we will end up feeding our bodies whatever. And the body eventually will kind of adjust, but it will adjust, hibernating all the bad things underneath the body. And we never feel our best. We never live our best. We have to get back to listening to our body and balancing that with what we know to be true. So how are we doing? Talk to me. Let's see how we are going. How are we feeling at this point? Any questions? How are we feeling? How are we doing? We will be finishing this quite soon, so we are just about to wind up. So let me share the screen again. So keep those feedback coming in the chat. Tell me one thing you would want to implement after today. After you look at the things that we are talking about, how you need to change yourself, how you need to upgrade your nutrition, how you need to just think and be the you for tomorrow, today. Tell me on the chat, what is that one thing that you would want to implement today? So this is one of the ladies I've worked with. She has lost over 17 kgs by now, and we started working together in August. And this is a picture of before, and this is a picture of how she is today. So this story works. This story works. And if you look at this picture for me here, I was like 65 kgs right here. This is me when I am back to my healthy weight. So it's possible. I have another lady who has lost over 10 kgs so far, and they're still going on. It's a lifelong journey that we have to go. This thing is possible. It works. You will get results. So what is next? So if you choose to work with me and be part of my community, I will help you expedite your path to your weight loss goals. We will personalize your goals. We will look at the foods that your body likes. We will take your body back to the basics. We will kind of break down and tear down all the things that your body has been saying no to. And also in terms of your mental and those faults or beliefs that I was talking about earlier, we will look into them and kind of delve deeper and be able to see what are the things that I need to break down? What are the things that I need to build? And how do I put that on a repeat mode to be able to give me the results that I need? We will personalize your nutrition. We will do it in a community, and we will be able to benefit from all those good things that I talk about being in a community. I have a 12-week, it's both individual and group coaching. And why a group? Because it fosters community, it increases the learning potential, and it also, you gain courage and encouragement from other people who are walking the same journey. So the main premise of this program is to achieve your weight goals and transform your health through science-based nutrition principles from a biblical worldview. You keep the weight off in the long term while live your life without dieting, strenuous exercise, or medication or pills. So that's the premise, and that's the promise. So what are the services that are offered in this program? So I do have a one-on-one bi-weekly session. So we meet every other week. And then we have a weekly group classes. And you have my phone number. You will have my phone number and you can text me your personal questions, your feedback, or anything that you need taken care of before the week. And then we individualize your meals. I don't do meal plans for you. I coach you on how to combine your foods and how to make your meal plans, because that lies in what you need to be able to do once you're not constantly under supervision. And then we get personalized hacks and strategies to sustain the weight loss. You get to participate and live in a community of like-minded people, and you will get a one free membership. It's like you will be meeting with me virtually almost every month or every other month for monitoring, for feedback, for questions, for trainings, for support. So you will have that access of a free one-year membership where you have access, and then long term, you will be connected to me somehow. So those are the services that are offered in that 12-week coaching program. And if you're ready to get started, please, I have a link for you to go ahead and book your slot, make a payment and book a slot. I do have the next cohort because we are doing this pre-launch a little bit earlier. So there will be a little bit of a space between now and the actual program when it begins the next, because I do have a class that is going on currently. So it begins in the end of April. The next class begins end of April. But if you book in today or this week, you will start enjoying the resources that I have. You will start getting access to the resources that I have and the talks that I have even now. So basically, you're going to get two major benefits. One, you're going to get the program a quarter the price of what is the actual price. And two, if you book now, you will start enjoying the current materials that I have, the support that I have. You will have 3 to 4 weeks extra time than the 12 weeks because you've signed up early. So those are two major perks and benefits of you coming to this meeting and being part of this meeting. So I cannot guarantee to hold the price for you until April because I just have limited slots. I don't want to work with a lot of people at the same time. So you don't want to go on a wait list. So because I'm not putting out there a lot of slots for this. So you have a chance to book that and have that secured in, and then we can even start kind of breaking down the process. So you will have the freedom, or you will have the benefit of extra several weeks, even than others who will join in at the actual time. So what have we learned today? So the benefits of why you need to get a nutrition-based weight loss, it will make you glad. A year from today, you will be glad you began today. You have to break that which has not worked. You have to clean up your nutrition. You have to clean up your mental thinking, your perception about yourself. You have to break up all those things. And you have to build that which works nutritionally, mentally, and even socially. And you have to build that which works. And you have to repeat the process all over again. And don't walk alone. I don't know who supports Liverpool, but they have a good memo out there, never walk alone. So don't be other football clubs, be a Liverpool today, just for today and for your mental structure. Don't walk alone. And then the most important thing is don't leave God out of it. He knows your health more than anybody else. He knows your body more than anybody else. He created you. He needs every cell and every vein and every hormone and every enzyme inside of you. He can help you. And the time to begin is now. Don't wait. Any questions? Any questions? How are we doing?
I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, Irene has asked.
Okay,
How
so
much is it?
the price, the set price for the program is $1,500. But like I said, I'm giving you with a quarter price. So that would be $400. If I do my math correctly with the shilling right now, it's around 48,000 Kenyan shillings. Any other question? So how are we feeling? I do see Mwikalis, you said, I need to stop separating my weight loss from my life. I need to weave it in my everyday life. That's great. Irene, I need to start with prayer for my weight and discipline. Awesome. I think this has been very insightful. I appreciate that, Naomi. So great. So my sister had to leave. She had to go to a different meeting. So yeah, I see that. Yeah, I have my cakes right here. So I like those steps. That's a good step to take. Irene and Naomi. You don't do, it will not give you results. Any questions? You have a question from nutrition, you have a question for weight loss that I haven't talked about, feel free to chime it in the next few minutes before we can close it up. Okay, so I need your feedback because I told you you're my test, you're my movie, what is it called? You're my movie analyzer. So I'm going to stop the recording at this point. So we can have that free talk and open up. Irene, welcome. We didn't hear about you before when we were beginning. So if you don't mind, I think I remember you, but vaguely. So please refresh my memory.
Hi Naomi, and hi everyone. I'm glad to be here today. Yes, I remember you. Clearly you might not remember me now because I've added a lot of weight. 3 babies later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the desire to really, I've tried different things, intermittent fasting. I've tried, I don't know, I think I've just tried everything that is online. Drinking apple cider vinegar, I have tried, but I keep thinking it's either my body that is that has issues with losing weight, or I haven't found the right method that works with me. So I'm really hoping to, yeah, I'm glad to hear, and it's been quite insightful, as someone has shared quite a lot of information in tech. I think I need to sit and process all the things that you have shared today.
I will be sending the recording to your emails.
Okay.
So you can re-listen to it and ask, you can email me the questions as well, if you have any questions in addition to that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I would love to go through the recording again to just now listen a bit keenly, and be able to begin to prepare for the journey. Yeah, I'm hopeful.
And if you have not already seen it, I do have like a short ebook about the myths that people believe about weight loss and how that cannot be, and what are the things that you need to start looking at. You can look into that. It can also be an added resource for you to start looking at, okay, what are the things that I've been thinking might help me in my weight loss, but really they do not help. And then you can also send me questions from that as well. So I will drop the link to your messenger later for that ebook, and then you can just download it. It's free.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other concerns, questions, Evelyn and Gloria? I know you're not here basically for the weight loss, but what do we have?
That was a very great presentation. I think it has totally changed the perspective in which I look at weight loss. We have to add faith in it. We have to maintain, upgrade, and all that. You know, there are some things you do when it get to weight loss that you give up on the way when you don't see any significant changes. But I see from this one has been proven. You are an example. So this one is a very different perspective in which all nutritionists should take up.
Yes. Lena, I'm waiting for you. I'm putting you on the spot.
I think what caught me was the repetition part. It can be boring, it can be monotonous.
Yes.
and I easily sleep. I can call it that.
Yeah.
So that's the part that's really hard, but it's manageable. It's possible, but yes.
It is possible. And that reminds me of one major thing of when we start working on, so just to kind of give you a pretest of what I take myself through, what I've gone through, and what I take my clients to go through is when you're trying to think about what are the things